guys, welcome back to the Hustle and Juggle podcast. I am your host, Diamond Mind. Today is a random upload. Well, it's not random, but it's something that has been on my mind and on my For You page for the last 8 hours. In case you're unaware of this story that is developing, catching steam on TikTok, there was a young lady named Jada West. She was 12 years old, and she actually just died yesterday, which would have been March 9th. Injuries of a fight from a bully. There are so many things to unpack in the video that I don't know if it was the granddad or the grandma, but it originally started on that post, which now has 3.4 million likes. Don't even know how many impressions it has, but she basically is telling Jada's story and also showing the video of the girls who got off the bus and recorded the altercation. So just a little background on what I've been able to obtain with very little videos or information that's out there, and this is also using some of the information that was from the original post. So Jada West was 12 years old. She was a new kid to a neighborhood, possibly the school, but I want to say more so new to the neighborhood. There was a group of kids that got off the bus, and this was filmed, by the way, got off of the school bus. And listening to Jada state that why is she or why are they getting out the bus made me think that these people that she's referring to was not supposed to get off on that stop, which we'll talk about in just a minute. If I'm not mistaken, I also heard her say if someone put their hands on her, she's going to whoop their ass, which who's going to argue with that? Not me. A few minutes later, seconds later, I'm not quite sure of the timeline of how long the fight lasted. But anyways, the fight ended. Jada went home and collapsed. I don't even think she made it home, but she collapsed, was sent to the hospital. They was monitoring her and she died. Let's talk about this. This is a lot to fucking unpack. And honestly, as a parent, as an active parent that gives a damn, I'm getting tired of this. I'm getting tired of kids dying from parents. I'm getting tired of kids dying from kids and kids' actions, whether that is suicidal or dying like Jada West just did. This has got to stop. Some accountability has to be taken at some point with this bullshit. It has been going on way too long. Anyone who has been in school has had some sort of encounter with bullying or has witnessed someone be bullied. But the way it is ending up now is disgusting. And to know that there is not really any laws to prevent this from happening to such young kids is even more disgusting. According to some of the videos I've been watching, allegedly the parents or the adult of Jada West had been in communication with the school in regards to bullying or the daughter feeling uncomfortable, whatever the case may be. That's pretty much the standard thing that all parents should be doing, is creating a paper trail. If in the event something was to go wrong, that paper trail needs to be there. And I don't understand why schools are not being held accountable once they obtain certain information. Why isn't things in place to prevent things from continuing on? You don't want kids to fight back, but then when a parent or a kid reports to you that something is wrong, someone is bothering them, as a grown-ass person, you sit here on your hands and do nothing. Secondly, the bus driver. I've seen a lot of comments of people saying that the bus driver needs to be charged as well as those badass kids, as well as the parents. So let's talk about all of this. So when I was in school, I vividly remember that if you didn't have a note to get off on a bus stop that was not yours, your ass ain't getting off the bus. I also remember the bus drivers watching kids get off the bus. And if that kid was not supposed to be there, they ain't getting off their bus. What is going on with the village? Like, I know, we all in our own world, and I know that, we feel like we don't need villages, but when it comes to protecting your baby, protecting your kid, that is part of the village. So did that bus driver not know policy? Is there even a policy? Should she be held accountable? Because technically, if the kid would have got to fighting on the school bus, more than likely they would have got suspended. So how is it that the bus driver is not held to some sort of accountability? Because if she would have prevented that kid, or even if it was on record that she tried to stop that kid or those kids from getting off that bus and really murdering that young girl, how is she not as guilty as the ones that did? I'm just saying, this is how I feel about the whole situation. The kids, what if one of those kids would have got hit by a car or would have got snatched up by a stranger? That is why you do not let kids get off on an unauthorized stop. If you didn't pick them up there, why are you dropping them off there? This is common sense. This should be in everybody's school policy handbook. Secondly, should the parents be charged? You ain't even got to ask me twice. Hell yeah. Because at the end of the day, we still have responsibility and accountability for our kids at a certain age. Especially if you are made aware of your child being a damn problem and you choose to not do nothing, then yeah, you need to be held accountable. Same thing as if these kids go ahead and they blow up schools and create massacres. Their parents need to be held accountable because at some point you knew something was wrong. You knew something was off. Now, I'm not saying this is for the ones who did the proper contacts of letting someone know, hey, something is going on. Something ain't right. I'm trying to fix this with my child. I need help. Y'all do this. Help me, help me, help me. I'm not talking about those parents where it is actually a paper trail of them asking for help, indicating something is wrong. I'm talking about the ones who was informed there was a problem and they didn't try to fix it because they want to blame everybody else but their child. Those parents need to be held accountable for creating what we are seeing today. Now, I don't know parents' situation. I do know we all out here trying to keep head above water. I understand that. And I understand all parents don't know what their kids doing and all parents can't be around their kids all the time. But I strongly believe if your kid know that you don't goddamn play, they ain't gonna be in half of the stuff they be in. Or if they do, they sneaking. And you will never find out because they sneaky. And kids like to record everything. So it don't cross my mind that a kid ain't thinking like, oh shoot, this gonna be on video. This gonna be recorded. So I better not say this. I better not do that. Kids don't give a damn. To me, looking at these videos as circulating, they don't care. And that's the problem. They have no regards for another person's life. And that is sickening to be that young and have no regards for another kid life. This has got to change. And even if that means the parents got to take the fall for it at the end of the day, because this is our future. What the fuck are we doing? And sitting back not doing anything as well. That's why I said I had to get on here and make some sort of post about this because it is getting out of hand. Even the babies who are committing suicide due to bullying, hurting others because of bullying. This has got to stop. And as parents, what are we doing to stop this? And maybe not even stop it completely, but at least slow it down. My sincere condolences to the West family. I pray that peace and justice comes to you very swiftly. And the only outlet that these families have is to get on social media and get people to press and get law officials to act. And let me say this, because I know in today's world, no conversation is too young. Because if you don't talk to your kids about what is going on when they step foot out of your door, somebody else will. So a conversation is never too young at this point. I get it. Years ago, it used to be that time ain't here. We ain't got to talk about that right now. We got time. No, you don't. You don't have time anymore today. today is conversations that you need to have where you might have not had at the age that you got to have it at right now. I'll say, for an example, my daughter, if you don't know, she experienced some bullying when she first started first grade. As she gets older and she's getting more familiar with other kids, other situations, kids looking different from her, I constantly have conversations with her, telling her that if someone looks different from you, you don't pick on them or laugh at them because of that. If someone has less or more than you, you don't pick or laugh at them because of that. Your friends want to talk and laugh about someone, you don't engage in that. Like, it's not the same anymore. So parents, y'all gotta do y'all part. Y'all got to do your part.